Why bother doing a running warm-up?
Why bother doing a cool down?
Let's find out. Hey Prehab, welcome back. Dr. Craig Lindell here. Today, we're talking about if you actually have to do running warm-ups or cool downs. I'm here to convince you that yes, running warm-ups are good and they matter, but not all running warm-ups are created equal. Where we've overcomplicated things is what a warm-up has to include. For example, I run 3 times a week and my warm-up for each run typically looks a little bit different. I can walk for 5 minutes before my run, I can run after cycling, and I can also do exercises and drills before certain types of runs. The common theme is movement. It promotes blood flow to the muscles and tendons that are essential for running. It raises body temperature to enhance muscle performance, and it activates the nervous system, which is crucial for faster running. The complexity lies in understanding which exercises and drills are best to perform before you run, how to do them correctly, and why they matter. Let's start by addressing the one thing not to do too much of before a run, and that's stretching. We've all seen that person at the stoplight on their run, and they got their foot up on a bench trying to stretch their hamstrings, or they're stretching their calves as hard as they can, where it looks like they're trying to push over a telephone pole. Don't do that. Sure, you can, and you might have to if you're dealing with a cramp, but it doesn't make sense if you want to be fast. You want to be bouncy and stiff in the right areas with running, so you have that pep to your step. You get that from your tendons. And what I discussed earlier at the stoplight is usually static stretching, which doesn't benefit our tendons before running. Instead, try these dynamic movements to wake up your hamstring and calf tendons. Now that we've ruled out what to do less of, you have 2 options. Go for a walk or do specific exercises and drills before you run. Which one do you choose and why? If you're doing a tempo workout, like a track workout, or anything that includes hills or speed, do a dynamic exercise and drill-based warm-up. When it comes to soft tissue injuries with running, it's usually the muscles that cross 2 joints that will get into trouble with hard running and sprinting efforts. The common ones you hear about are the hamstrings, hip flexors, and calves in the lower body. So from a prehab perspective, consider adding in these movements to better prepare these muscles. In addition to prehab, your performance can benefit from plyometric drills to fire up your nervous system. This helps with things like your cadence and running economy. Being efficient with running is extremely important. All you have to do is spend 5 to 10 minutes doing these exercises and drills when you have the time, and your pace will thank you. If you're doing a chill zone 1, zone 2 run, you can get by with just walking, but not just any walk, a run warm-up walk. I'm talking about intentional form right out of the gate. You can do Wim Hof breathing for the first minute while you're walking, and then I want you to pick up the pace, really stretch out your stride. How much distance can you cover with each step? Then get up on your tiptoes with an early heel rise to kind of fire up your calf muscles, feel those muscles working. If you fancy, you can even kind of skip and bounds for 15 seconds of each one. At this point, your heart rate is up, your legs are moving and grooving, your breathing rate is up, and you've gotten at least 500 steps in. Now, all you gotta do is lean forward and get into it. All right, so that's the deal with warm-ups. On the cool downs, that's up for debate. Hang around and I'll tell you what works and what doesn't, because honestly, I've tried everything in the last 5 years of doing endurance training. But not every workout needs a cool down. And again, not all cool downs are created equal. In the past decade, cool downs have gotten very technical. In particular, I prefer to simplify things when I can. And my general rule of thumb is if you've worked out really hard or you've done something completely new, you're going to be sore. When you get that feeling, that's a reminder to yourself that no matter what you do, you're going to feel something tomorrow. So let's go through a few different running examples to decide if a cool down is needed. Zone 1 or zone 2 chill run. Honestly, if you don't have time or you don't want to do exercises, just take 5 minutes to walk at the end of your run. And then if you can be moving around or standing for the next 30 to 60 minutes, you just tend to feel better compared to getting right into the seat of your car or not moving for a bit. That's how you just end up feeling stiff. If you do want to stretch, I like to stretch my stride during that cool down walk. I like to hit my calves, and I also like to hit my abs. And the exercise that I'm showing you now they win every single time. What if you just did the longest run of your life, or you did a race? If your muscles are feeling super pumped up, I'd encourage some static and dynamic stretching, specifically of the muscles you just worked. This tends to feel really good in the moment, and I'm typically less sore, and the soreness is more tolerated the next day. The next example that I cover also applies to this example too. So what if you just did a run club, or you just did a track workout, or you did hill repeats? I want you to spend more time walking it off when you're done, and then if your legs can tolerate it, try jogging for like 5 to 10 minutes. If you have access to it, you can also bike, or you can even do swimming if like you're a triathlete. And this just kind of helps to use the muscle pump in our muscles to help kind of flush the blood out of those muscles in our legs and kind of come down from that pump. All right, what if you're feeling destroyed and you don't want to exercise anymore? With that said, I do think things like massages, rolling, ice baths, contrast therapy, steam rooms, saunas, compression, all of these tend to help people feel better. At the end of the day, it's just what do you fancy? What do you have access to? And what works for you? I especially like these cool down methods when I'm doing back-to-back days of training, if I'm planning to do an event, or I just did an event, or like athletes, they have games. These recovery modalities just help you to shift from one vibe to the next. When you're done working out, you want to chill and rest and get sleep. Sleep is the ultimate recovery hack. So anything that gets you to truly cool down your brain and your nervous system is ultimately going to get your body to relax, which is going to help you sleep. And that's the winning formula of the cool downs. That's all for today, Prehab. I hope you enjoyed this content. Help us out and let me know what you want to learn next in the comments section. Until next time.